This is an age of disruption, of profound revolutionary change.
What we're really asking ministers is to empower the ambassadors.
The only thing that you really push forth is the truth.
You don't see many women represented when it comes to the decisions as to how to handle the pandemic.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome back to Politico's Sustainable Future Week and to this afternoon's session, which is dedicated to sustainability and the circular economy. My name is Esther King. I'm Politico's sustainability editor. So over the next few hours, we'll be taking a closer look at some of the hottest topics in EU sustainability policy. We'll discuss the EU's efforts to become a truly circular economy and whether countries are on track to meet those goals. We'll also debate the viability of EU plans to rein in packaging waste, and we'll take a look at efforts to preserve nature as part of the broader fight against climate change. We'll be delving into critical raw materials and the thorny question of how Europe can secure the supplies it needs to complete its green transition and compete with the US and China on green technology. So after these sessions, you'll also have the opportunity to join roundtable discussions on landfilling, on chemicals, and on industrial pollution, and we'll have some more details on that for you later on. Before we kick off, I'd like to thank our partners for making this summit possible. So our leading partners are Amazon, Coca-Cola, and Plastics Europe. Our presenting partners, Bayer, Google, McDonald's, and SQM. And of course, our networking partner, A2A, and our visibility partner, EU CityCalc. We do have a few housekeeping rules, so you can ask questions through the swap card platform. And if you're in the room, you can scan the QR code on the screens, and otherwise you can please check the instructions on the event website. If you're already on the platform, you can chat with your fellow attendees and ask questions in the questions box. That's in the right of the screen if you're joining us on a desktop, and below the live stream if you're viewing on your mobile. We'd love to encourage debate on all the topics we're covering, so please do engage with us on X or the social media of your choice. Our hashtag on X is Politico Sustainable Week. And now we'll hear opening remarks from Virginia Janssens, Managing Director of Plastics Europe, followed by a panel discussion on the Circular Economy Action Plan led by our sustainability reporter, Louise Guillot. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's great to partner up as Plastics Europe to the Sustainability Week of Politico this year. I believe that I can assume, at least, that everybody in this room is working towards a better future, to sustain our welfare for our children and our families. When I took on the job as Managing Director of Plastics Europe, that's about three and a half years ago now, my North Star was back then, and still is, to help drive that transformational change and to make a long-lasting contribution to my son's future. And I think we all understand in this room as well the urgency to act. We need to get on with it, all of us, especially our industry. And of course, there will be discussions, there's debate among the various stakeholders on which road to take and the pace in which we progress. And this is good. It's the societal debate that we need. After all, we are dealing of a complete overhaul of our economic system, going from a linear to a circular economy. So we can accelerate as a society. We can achieve our goals and accelerate on those if we see this as a journey we can do together with all stakeholders on board, united around the same objectives. And if we also have that vision in mind for Europe with this balancing act between driving sustainability and competitiveness. And I said it before, it is a difficult balancing act, and success is not guaranteed to get us there on time. But we are here today. We are going to talk about circular economy. Circular economy, it means inherently, by definition, we're interconnected as an economy, so we all depend on each other to drive this progress forward through collaboration, of course. And of course, later on in the panel, we will also discuss the need for a strong circular economy in Europe and what that concretely means. Now, I'm very proud today as well. Last month, Plastics Europe, for the first time, published its roadmap for our industry in Europe, our transition towards circularity and net zero emissions by 2050. So that includes that at least 65% of plastics will be produced by circular plastics. With circular plastics, we mean recycled waste, bio-based sources, and carbon captured. We also have in that roadmap a very critical role for reuse. And of course, it is our sincere hope that we can actually team up with our value chain partners to drive these forward now, so that each partner can actually deploy their levers, each of their individual levers, to get towards those similar goals. We also have, of course, this is 2050, we also have intermediate targets by 2030. We have a 28% reduction of CO2 emissions as an intermediate goal, but also we hope to achieve that at least, to double the amount. It's important to double the amount of circular plastics compared to the 2021 baseline, basically, and that's going to be for 2030. So we are, of course, as an industry, we will have to accelerate on this. We will have to invest. We will have to innovate. We need to get on with it. But of course, as I said, circular economy, interconnectedness, we will need our supply chain partners to help and unite around those similar goals. And of course, beyond the supply chain, we will need policymakers and regulators to create that framework for us in which we can meet those industry and legal targets, but also to accelerate them moving forward. So speaking about the costs, the additional cost we calculated in that roadmap as well. It's an estimation, of course. So the additional cost, so based to the scenario of business as usual, would cost us at least 235 billion euro. So that is not nothing. So we always have to look also for Europe and European stakeholders, including our industry. How can we remain as Europe competitive whilst also being competitive? And the answer is, it's complicated. We must, for sure, as industry, develop, scale those technologies that are needed to advance in this transition. But also we need to tap into the intellectual capital and remain attractive as Europe for the investments needed for the innovations that will help Europe to create this new economic paradigm. So we must also ensure we can compete on a level playing field with the rest of the world. The most topical examples I can give you two now, it's of course the UN negotiations that are currently ongoing in Nairobi, working on a global instrument to stop plastic pollution by 2040. So of course also as a European stakeholder, we are contributing to those discussions. Another element, a watch out and an urgency is also, of course, on the competitiveness, is how to deal with the uncompetitively high energy prices that we are having in Europe compared to other regions of the world. So this is certainly something to work with and to work on. So we also hope that our roadmap can serve as an example to contribute to those international discussions in a way, and also to show a pathway on what is possible, at least from a European perspective. So it's also a starting point, this roadmap. I sincerely hope that we will be able to course correct upwards in our bi-yearly progress reports. And of course that we progress against the KPIs or the indicators that we have set, but also against the enabling conditions. So for the first time, we are united as an industry around similar goals. And I'm very proud of the team and the member representatives who actually helped deliver this milestone for our industry as Plastics Europe. So I'll stop here. It's an open invitation, of course, this roadmap to all stakeholders to work with us and to help us meet and accelerate our industry and legal targets in line with those EU Green Deal objectives. I believe the next panel will include some of those stakeholders who will help us get it done. Thank you very much.